Hey, what's up, everybody?
Morning.
TeamChataMecha.com here, one and only, and welcome to episode 17 of Gunpla Talk. We're going to continue our conversation from last week about Bandai's technology and all that cool stuff. Joining us this week, we have an awesome special guest, everyone's favorite Master of Ceremonies from GBWC US, Mr. Xavier Lim. Welcome, X-Man, to the show.
Hey,
we appreciate you being here.
Hey guys, thanks.
Cool. All right, so real quick, we're going to go around, do our introductions. We're going to get into some news. Zach's got a little something to tell you guys, and then we're going to get into the conversation hot and heavy. So without further ado, let me introduce my cast of characters, the Wu-Tang Clan, if you will, of Gunpla. All of my awesome co-hosts. Let's start off with our returning champion, joining us from a land unknown, far, far away, Miami. Jimmy, welcome back to the show, sir.
Yeah, Jim.
Hey, thank you guys. Kind of miss hanging out with you guys. Yeah, I'm back for this week. I'm on vacation from work, so I wasn't doing anything today, and there's a hangout, so I'm joining. I am Jim. For those who don't know me or are new to the hangouts, also known as Jimmy Boo, or my channel name and YouTube is Gunpla Fixation. And been doing Gunpla for a few years. I'm a very slow builder, but I really enjoy the hobby and very passionate about it. And that's it. And I like robots, and that's my story.
Awesome. Well, brother, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you, even if it's only for 1 week.
Thanks, man.
We miss you. We hope you come back more often, but we'll take you when we can get you.
Yeah.
Awesome. And next, we're going to go down under to our awesome, wonderful co-host, Mr. Josh Dara.
G'day, guys. Josh here. Hey, everybody. I'm Joshua Dara. I'm a Gunpla builder, maybe 4 years now, and I like making my kits look super realistic and mechanical. And I have Facebook and Instagram. And I also do Gundam ballpoint art. So I have my website, joshuadara.com, that has all my drawings on there. So check them out. And I think this is maybe my 7th episode on this show. So, yeah, I think I might stick around.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, next up, we're going to introduce the twins. First up from the UK, Mr. Simon, the gentleman of Gunpla. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Simon, otherwise known as Gundam UK, and I've been a mecha modeler for 5 years, and I had been on the UK Gunpla Modelers group.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. All right, and then next up, his brother from another mother, Zach. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, you're hanging out here on my channel, ZakuAurelius. Just got back from my trip to the Philippines, which was really awesome. So just posted the first video from that. I have a few more videos from that trip. So events there were really cool. And yeah, so that's all.
Rock and roll. Awesome. And then, hey, but last but not least, we've already introduced him. Why not do it again? Mr. Xavier Lim, introduce yourself, to everybody.
Hi, my name's Xavier. I'm the brand manager for Bandai products for the US market on behalf of Bluefin Distribution. I've been building model kits for close to 20 years now. I've built a lot of aircraft models in my time, but I've built mostly Gunpla for the last 15 or so years.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you for joining us, Xavier. Again, it's always fun to have you on because you drop these giant, massive atom truth bombs on everybody when you come on and clear out all doubts and misunderstandings. So it's wonderful to have you on, man. So with everybody introduced, we're going to go into a bit of news. It's been an interesting week, to say the least. We've had some very surprising releases. Zach, you want to take us through what we have and what we've seen and all that good stuff?
Yeah, the big thing that I think caught everyone by surprise was the HD Build Fighters Hot Scramble Gundam. I think we were all just blown away by that one, right?
Yeah, I'm still speechless.
Right? No,
Man.
that wasn't it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was not that exciting, as well as the other, like that Luna Gazer. Did you guys see that one? Other Build Fighters kit that was shown.
Yeah, I saw the coloring to me just seems a little bit like unfinished or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not that impressive, and I don't think a lot of, from the reception that I've seen on my Facebook page, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are really too excited about that kit.
Yeah.
It's not one of the more attractive designs, I think, out of. But
Zach,
Justin.
time out for just a second.
Yeah.
We have a new player, Mr. Justinius Builds. Introduce yourself now that you've joined us.
I am here. Hi, I'm Justin. I build robots. Many of you probably know that already. That's it. Short and sweet.
Rock and roll. Well, thank you for being on.
What'd I miss?
Not much, just introduction.
Not much.
All good. Yeah. I called us the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that Luna Gazer, if it was in like a different color, it would probably just look cool because it's a lot of the Hyaku Shiki kind of base on it, which always looks great.
I was really excited when that got announced, and then they showed the plastic version. I was like, those colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that weird kind of off-white and the gray. It doesn't really work.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think you're right. The design is pretty cool, but just other stuff's kind of weird. Anyway, I think the big thing that I think we're probably all most excited about is the Master Grade GM Sniper 2.
Yeah.
Was totally out of nowhere. Very welcome release to have. I think it's cool just because it's like the first non-lead kind of mobile suit we've had in Master Grade line in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think since as I mentioned before to you guys, since the Gyaradoga was the last non-lead mobile suit.
Yeah, I'm surprised because we're getting a bit less of the Master Grades compared to the past years. So them doing a non-lead suit for a Master Grade, I wouldn't have seen that coming at all. I would have thought they would all be leads because there's fewer Master Grades coming out.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's kind of like back to the good old days of Master Grades when we get a lot of this other kind of lesser known stuff.
Have any of you guys looked closely? I'm always curious to see what the inner frame's like, if it's maybe built up to 2.0 or anything like that. Have you got any thoughts on what the insides could be like by looking at the images?
Those joints look really, the joints look brand new, especially like the knees.
Yeah, I mean the knees are double hinged. The elbows, from what I can see from the pictures, look brand new. You know, it's got an independent knee or elbow armor, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, and hey Zach, we've got some crazy requests from the chat. People want you to do the dab.
Yeah.
Can you do that real quick?
No.
No. Okay.
But I will tell you about one other point of news that I thought was cool is the heavy weapon system for the Master Grade New Verka.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool, I think.
Not what you mean, but I don't reckon the heavy weapon system looks that good. It looks a bit, I don't know, a bit dorky. It looks a bit too dorky and not refined. Do any of you guys?
It's confirmed. Me and Josh have the same taste in that kind of stuff because I've like people were like, yeah, the heavy weapon's new, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
It looks better on the high new, but it still looks really dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It looks better on the high new, for sure.
Oh, Zach loves it. Look, he loves it.
He's afraid to admit it.
No,
the
I
heavy
just
weapon
think,
system. I mean, do
I'm
we
just
know
happy
it?
that,
Huh?
as I said when I posted about it on my page, that I've never bought just a regular new Verka kit, so I'm just gonna buy this one because I like this just more than just the regular one.
Man, I can't believe you haven't had it yet, because it was one of my top ones to get because I knew how intricate it was. So I'm going to be curious to see what you think of it.
I have the mechanical clear version.
That's right. You get the mechanical clears first, almost.
Maybe.
Now, do we know
But,
if
that's pretty
the
much
heavy
it.
weapon system is a new kit, like a full kit, or is it just a add-on kit?
There's both. You can get just the expansion set, which is in like the same colors as the regular kit. But then if you buy, I think it's the set, the full Gundam and the expansion set, the color is actually a little bit different.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. And is this a regular release, or is this P Bandai?
Of course not.
Just wondering. I haven't seen anything about it. I've been all souped up with the GM Sniper too. So
Both the HWS parts and the new Verka HWS system are both premium Bandai. The new Verka, which is bundled with the HWS, actually has a newer pastel cream color for the outer armor, based on Toki's own illustrations. In addition to that, it has sky blue Psycho frame, as opposed to the green one that came on the original release.
Ooh, sexy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. There's other like P Bandai stuff and Expo exclusive stuff that were announced, but nothing too exciting. I didn't think.
Well, and not to get off the Bandai bandwagon, because we all love and support Bandai, but man, Kotobu Kiya has this really cool line coming out. I know Justin posted something on it, and does anybody remember what it was called? Hexa something or something like that?
Hexa something, yeah.
Hexagear or something?
That's it.
Yeah. That looks pretty cool, I gotta admit.
Yeah, the one where there's like the pilot and there's the dome cockpit in front and the
the
man,
flyer. Yeah. I mean, mind you, if for nothing else, it's good. It's good kit bash fodder, you know.
Yeah.
So
that should be interesting. Good deal. All right.
Yeah.
So Zach, you got anything else for us, or is that about it?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Rock and roll. All right. Well, I know you have like a little announcement.
Yes. First, before I get into that, before I forget, I want to wish a happy birthday to Gabby. When I was there in the Philippines, he's a young kid who came to 2 of the events that I did, actually, and asked me to wish him happy birthday on his birthday, which is today. So happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, man.
I have my photo contest that I was doing. So what I want to do to announce the winners of that is just first, at this time, I want to show you guys just some of the honorable mentions. I had, I'll just give you some of the stats on all the entries. I had 407 entries, I think it was, total. And that's from 39 different countries. I kept track of where they were all from as well.
That's cool.
That's pretty amazing. I think the last time I did a photo contest, it was 27 countries, so now 39. It's pretty cool. And just to recap what the prizes are, there's the non-UC prize pack of Grimguard and Double O Quant. The UC prize pack, Titanium Finish Banshee and Revive Gyan. And third prize is the Master Grade Amazing Red Warrior. So there's those. Now let me
specifications to take a photo of a kit that you have at home.
Yeah, the contest, just I called for just an awesome photo. So it didn't really matter if it was like the best like kit, like the best built kit, or like the best quality photo. Like the #1 question a lot of people asked me was if they could use Photoshop on the images, to which I said, yes, you can, because that, I don't know, some people were worried that that could be seen as like an advantage to people who have or can use Photoshop, but I thought it's not any more of an advantage to people who have a DSLR camera as opposed to just a simple cell phone camera.
Yeah.
So some people are going to have an advantage and some people aren't. So, So some of them like had a lot of Photoshop effects and stuff too, but that didn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a, better photo. So I just wanted just an awesome photo. So here's some of the runners up.
Oh, that's cool.
You can see that. So this one was cool just because of just the light, just the focused light there, and also I'm pretty sure those effects are not Photoshop.
Yeah, they look like they're LED while the shutter.
And I think he just did like a long exposure and dragged the camera.
That's cool.
I think so. It's like there's this one. This one, I'm sure that's some Photoshop there, I'd imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, just a kind of similar kind of effect, just using some dark image with some cool light effects. This one was cool because he recreated the image from the anime.
Yeah, yeah. That's some good. That's some good light direction. That's cool.
So I thought that was really cool as well. This one is just a really nice photo. I mean, just the model kit itself. I mean, even without all the rainbow effects and everything else, it's just a nice photo of the kit. Then, of course, the effects are cool as well. Yeah. The rainbow-tastic. This one was just a good depth.
Yeah.
Just a cool pose.
Yeah.
Good use of the depth there with the wires and stuff.
That's actually a hard one. I remember trying to take photos like that. It's hard to get everything in the frame, especially with it extended out so far. Yeah.
That kit?
Oh, no, I'm just saying a pose like that with the wires and the cables, set it all up, and then you set the camera up to take a shot, and you're like, I can't fit everything in. So this is really good to put it all in, yeah.
Yeah. So just good angles of the photo, and I think, and got a nice depth there. So that was good. This one's good. This one, I think, here, let me zoom it out a little bit. It looks a lot better when you see it like smaller. When you see the photo up close, it kind of loses some of the effect, but seeing it smaller, I think it looks really cool. It looks like a still from the anime or something if you're looking at it smaller.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Something like that.
Cool.
So just cool effect. I'm sure what he did, that's just a computer monitor probably there in the background with the picture.
It's a nice idea.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, so cool idea. Quite a few people did that using like image on the computer monitor in the backgrounds, and it works pretty well. So this was, I think, a good example of that. Just the silhouette there of the turn A looks cool. This one as well, just cool effect, I think, on this. This one was really close to being one of the winners, but ultimately I thought that this is really cool, but that's very reliant on the effect more than just the photo itself.
Yeah.
Just the Photoshop done to it makes it look really cool. So like, I was imagining like if you took away the Photoshop from it, would it be the best photo? And it's really good, but it wasn't the best.
It almost looks illustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, there's that. So this was, I had quite a few outdoors ones. This one I think was one of the best ones of the outdoor photos. Just the kits are, I like the colors of the kits and stuff too. That's good, just kind of biased, but I like the colors there for these painted kits.
Outdoors is great for lighting, having it bounce everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one was also really close to being one of the winners. I think what would have made this one maybe one of the winners is if the camera was from a low angle, so it made the mobile suits look bigger. So like mobile suits are quite large, so if you want to photograph them realistically, it kind of looks more realistic to photograph them from below.
Yeah.
So I think if you'd have done that, then this might have won. But it's still a really good one, so definitely worth a mention here. This one as well, cool posing and good use of the effects.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, looks quite realistic there with the effects.
Very dynamic.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't have the effects, those poses are great. The pose is awesome.
So quite good. I had quite a majority of the photos where like kids just posed like inside the house or something. So like the actual setting around the kits and like the background and stuff is not that interesting because it's like just the inside of someone's house. But this one, you kind of don't really notice that because the poses are really cool and the effect is done really well.
Yeah.
This one is just really cool effect.
Wow.
Like, it almost doesn't look like a model kit there. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
it's a
good.
kit, but
And that shows you taking the photo from down low makes it appear like it's huge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely sense of scale on that.
Mhm.
Some of these I wouldn't
again,
mind.
very-
Mm.
What, Jim?
I was just gonna say, some of these are so good. I wouldn't mind having like poster size and just hang them on the wall. You know, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Have you got any zoom on that, Zach? Can you see it? Is it any higher res on that one?
Higher res? No, I'm sure he has a higher res
Yeah.
version. This is
No,
just what
that's
I got
good.
in the email though.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
This was one of the best of like the more funny ones, just because there was a lot of like staged kind of comical ones. But this one I liked it because it was clear, or maybe not staged.
Yeah. You can't get cats to do stuff they don't want to do. Yeah.
And they love beam sabers. What looks of it.
That's cool.
So that was one of the funnier ones I thought for me. This one, this is actually by a guy who is another expat like me living here in Korea. I know. So
Nice.
anyway, just a use of the kit there again, just blended into this photo really nicely
Yeah.
with the fog and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be tricky to get right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was nice. This one I thought was cool. The photo, not really one of the best, but he used beam sabers in front of the camera to create the kind of lens flare look.
Yeah,
I
cool.
wonder what that was. Yeah.
Thought that might be it.
Yeah,
That's great.
so I thought that was creative. Yeah,
That is
to
creative.
do that. If you don't have Photoshop, you can try to recreate some effects in some other different, more creative ways.
Wow.
So that's why I thought that one was worth a mention.
Yeah.
This one, another just kind of cool outdoor one
Yeah.
with the 7-Eleven Gundam and 7-Eleven
Mhm.
That's
and
cool.
Slurpee. So that was just another funny one. And this is the last one here. Just a really nice photo
Yeah.
of this kit.
Mm.
Nice painted kit and just nice text design
That
as
looks
well.
super nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just really nice image there. So those are the honorable mentions, the runners up. There's 3 winners that I'll announce at the end of the show. So if you didn't see your picture there, you're still in the running. So the 3 winners I'll announce at the end of this show. So that is all from me for now. Thank you for giving me some time to go through those.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's
Well, it
really
looks
good.
like you had a lot of good entries.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, 400, they weren't, of course, all that good. But yeah, it's cool to just have a really good turnout like that. So
Nice. Nice.
very pleased.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Let's get into the meat of the conversation. We're going to hand it over to Xavier because he's got something special for you guys. I'm going to let him take over.
Tim, before we do that, do we want to
Oh, yeah.
talk about what we're working on?
We can just real quick. Yeah.
I guess if anyone wants to show that, because I think we have a lot to talk about with the topic. But if anyone wants to show what you're working on,
I'm working on my website.
Okay.
Nothing to show.
I'm snapping this PG unicorn.
Simon, you know you're working on the Hazel, right?
I'm
Yeah,
scribing
yeah.
right now.
The 1/100 Magic Toys Hazel at the minute, but it's literally just snapped together, and I've just taken the whole thing apart, getting it ready for painting. So I can't really show you, but it's in progress.
What do you think of the kit, Simon?
I really like it. I think it's very well detailed and it's very good quality. So yeah,
Me too. I love them.
good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Aside from finishing my E3 is almost done. So that's
About
good.
time.
The,
Wow, right.
shit.
Have you got the decals on?
Yeah, I finally got the decals just before my trip to the
Yeah.
Philippines. So that's good. My Strike Noir is also almost done. I think it's pretty much in the exact same state. You guys saw it last time, but like, all the other parts are painted. Just need to do the lining on that and then decals. And then also did these little guys too. I did these two little petite guys in like Zaku MSV designs. So
I've been
this
seeing
one
those on
is-
Twitter. They look really good.
This one is supposed to be the Kawaguchi Bandai Pro Shop version. So it has like these, I have the decals for it here. These like Africa, these big decals that go like on the shield here. So this shield is from, the shield and the axe, the Heat Hawk are both from HG Origin Zaku's kits. And the V-fin, or not the V-fin, the antenna, that's just a piece of plot I just cut out to make that antenna there. So that's that one. And then have this Uma Lightning version one as well. Shoulder pieces from the Origin Zaku and the bazookas from the SD Zaku. And then have some decals for that one as well. So it'll be like Uma Lightning custom decals on that. So that was just
Did you hear all that?
side thing for fun. I also ordered from Samuel like for the base here. It's just painted in white, both of them. But ordered like a big, like the MSV, like big red MSV logo.
Oh, yeah.
Ordered like a couple of decals for those to put like big here on the base. So I think that'll be pretty cool.
That's good.
Nice touch.
Yeah. That's
Nice. Now, see, what I'm wondering is how's that Zeta coming along, Josh?
Well, what I've been in real life and work and stuff, this has probably been the busiest I've been. I've been doing primary school teaching. And I have only just now taken photos of the Zeta, frame and armor on, because I painted all gray, and I want to work out some extra gray highlights to put on the armor. So I'm hoping for this week to do some more painting on it, and it's slowly getting there, but I'm damn wanting to finish it so bad. So it's getting there slowly. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good. Jimmy, what have you been working on, man?
I am currently wrapping up the Titans, the SD Titans Mark II. Everything's pretty much painted and done except the shoulder pieces, shoulder armor. I had to wait because there's a piece that this piece that's masked here is sandwiched between these two armor pieces. So I had to wait until I was done painting and decaling this piece so I can start working on this. So right now I'm basically just scribing some panel lines. I should be done by tomorrow and ready to put some primer on, and hopefully in the next week or so assembly and photos, video, and be done with this kit.
Nice.
Move on to the next one, I hope.
That's awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, good deal. I think that's everybody. Yeah. So let's, like I said, let's get into the meat of the conversation. Let's hand it over to Xavier. He's got a nice little presentation for everybody. So without further ado, Xavier, take it away, brother.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys. Let me switch to is it the shared screen view on my end? Bring up my PowerPoint thing. Actually, cobbled together different slides from some like business presentations I've done over the years, just for ones that are a little bit more relevant to the subject. Let's see. Now, where's that button on the screen share? Right. Let's see. I want this one. You guys see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Is it taking up the full screen, or is it the PowerPoint format still, where you can see the slides on the side?
Yeah, it's the full thing.
No, we can see the slides.
You can see the slides on the side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Try to make it. Just wanted to fill up the entire part of the.
I love this. That PowerPoint to other people who aren't in the hobby would just look so boring, and I'm so excited to see all these PowerPoints.
I'm really
Okay.
excited.
I had to simplify a lot of it, otherwise it would take up too long. So here we go. So I just wanted to go over basically our topics from last time. We were sort of speeding through the number of years. We somehow ended up at the master grade line already in the span of I don't know, it's like half an hour or so. Yeah. So I was like, oh, we probably should have covered a lot of the more earlier pioneering aspects that landed Bandai in the model kit industry where they are today. So this is just sort of an outline of what I'm going to cover here. But one of the first things that has made Gunpla quite the spectacle in the model kit world is Bandai has a patent on 4-color injection molding. They're able to simultaneously inject up to 4 colors onto a single runner through their machines. And what this does is it allows for more accurate reproduction of the character with more colored parts, but it means there's less runners overall in the package. Bandai has special color injection machines to do this, but because there's fewer of those 4-color injection machines, that's why there's only 1 4-color runner per model kit. So you can see in this picture, this is your typical 4-color injection runner. It's usually the A runner. If you take a look at any of your past kits, this is the one that has the most. And so all those colors, red, blue, yellow, and translucent green on this particular one from the Shining Gundam, they're all simultaneously injected by the machine at the same time. Bandai has a patent on this, and it's why you don't see other model kit manufacturers have the same type of setup. And it's also why, continue, sorry.
Sorry, when this runner comes through, does the machine just go 4 colors in one go, or does it do red and then move along to another section and then do the green? Is it actually simultaneous?
It's supposed to be simultaneous from what I've been told. I was at the Bandai Hobby Center this past May, so I was able to see from the second floor the machines at work. They do pump out quite a large number of kits in a day, but there's only so many machines that have the 4-color injection process. The rest of the other runner machines, they shoot only 1 color. And that's how they're able to make a kit. Basically, there's this one machine that's dedicated to making the 4-color runner, and then the other machines, they make the other runners that make that kit, since those are usually just 1 color. In the earlier years, I want to say before 2000s, all the machines in the Bandai Hobby Center were only the 4-color injection machine. All the single-color injection machines were stationed around the factory in various remote locations. The city of Shizuoka has a lot of, it's like a farming community in terms of its traditional economy. So it's funny, I was told this based on people who were part of the original Gundam project launch in the US with Bandai of America in the 2000s, that when they visited Japan, they noticed that these single color runner machines, they were located basically in spare buildings of like the farming community. And so what would happen is these farming communities, like the housewives, like they would be packaging the runners inside those buildings for the single color runners, and then they would all get combined together later on to make the final box product with the colored runner. I didn't realize this until I was told this maybe about 5 months ago when I was inquiring about the history of the Gundam model launch in the US. That itself is a separate topic for another time, but there's lots of little interesting aspects to that launch in the US that a lot of people would find interesting today. But anyway, next part of some pioneering aspects for Gunpla is snap together parts. So this played a large part in how Bandai was able to promote and market its products. There's no glue required for the assembly. Everything is snapped together using the male peg, female hold system. Traditional model kits, as many of us know, they require glue to even hold the parts together. However, with Bandai, they saw that the idea of having the parts held together by themselves, it was a lot more attractive toward people who weren't necessarily model kit builders already, but at the same time, it wasn't intended as a mechanism to dissuade people from like actually making the model. Like just because it snaps together, it doesn't mean that the parting line, as they call it in Japan, the seam line, like what we call it, it's still there. You still got to fix that. So the snap together, like no glue thing required, it was never meant to be like an excuse to not fix the seam lines or the parting lines. It was intended to be a more helpful step, because without any like aligning pegs, your model is going to be, the parts and sub-assemblies, they might get misaligned, and so you won't have a perfect fit. But these aligning pegs ensure that you had a perfect fit, and that when you were going to go fix the seam, you didn't have to worry about your parts being off-center when you're pressing them together. And that's the importance of that. In more modern days, the snap-together system in other parts of the world, it's sort of looked down as like a novice, a beginner thing, and that more advanced kits don't have like snap together anymore. But for Bandai, it's integral to the aspect of their product. It's one of their core features. And even on the expert model kits, like the Perfect Grade series, they're still snapped together. But all that means is it's easier to do one step, which is holding the parts together. So you can do the more advanced things, like modifying your own parts, like doing the cleanup and assembly for sub-assemblies. It's not meant to be this is a novice thing that should be looked down upon. And that's sort of what sets them apart from other model kit manufacturers out there, which is that this is just making the process easier. It's not intended to be a low-level detriment to more experienced modelers. Next thing is polycaps. So you guys know what these are. These are the little rubbery plastic parts that are inserted in between the plastic for joints. What this material does is it allows smooth movement of the plastic without significant wear. Normally plastic on plastic, particularly polystyrene, the friction, it decreases over time as you move like the leg up and down. But with the polycaps, when they introduced these for like the arms and legs and torso movement, it allowed people to basically move the arms without fear of them becoming loose after just a few times. And we can see that ever since they introduced these back in, I want to say the Zeta Gundam model kit era, they've been pretty persistent ever since in almost all kits. The next thing, of course, is something that's exclusive also to Bandai. They have a patent on this. It's called system injection. And this is multiple injection into a single space to create a part. This can be different plastic types. It can be the same plastic type, just different colors. A lot of people may have experienced these with some of the earlier kits in the 90s and late 80s. Picture on the far right is a Rising Gundam chest from the 1/100 high grade Rising Gundam. That is one part. That chest with red, yellow, blue, that's one part.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they were able to mold parts like that as a single part, all colors together. The downside of that particular way of doing it for doing one part is it makes it take up so much plastic. Because what you don't see in that picture is that it's actually 3 layers of plastic that compose that part, red, yellow, and blue. So it looks great on the outside, but it's extremely more or less cost prohibitive to do an entire kit like that. And I think, if I remember correctly when I was building it, the entire A runner of the Rising Gundam is like that. So your chest is completely colored in, the chin on the face is completely colored in. It was like the whole thing was completely in color. But more recently, a lot of people have experienced this when they see the RG Advanced MS joint. The picture on the top left in the middle, that's from the RG Red Frame. So those of you who have built real grades have experienced the Advanced MS joint, which is basically an entire joint folded on the runner. Just cut it out, it's ready to move. You could also see that if you've built the Master Grade 1 Year War or Shinwusha Gundam. Those also utilize that same system injection system, where it's a combination of ABS and I believe it's POM material for the movable portions. And so that's injected as one part. It's all together. You don't connect anything together yourself. It's all there, right, for you to cut out. And then on the bottom, you see the further refinement of this, which is in the figurized bust series, where they're now able to do pupils of the eyes on these busts. You see Kiriyamato's eye, that's one part. It's not a decal or a sticker. That's a plastic molded part.
I still cannot believe that is a reality. It's such on a small scale.
It blows my mind, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it looks so good. Looks really
But you see
good.
how much plastic that's taking up, right? Just to do 2 eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so Bandai has a patent on this system injection process. They were more recently used on the Star Wars model kits as well. On the TIE Fighter, the panels that make up the wings, the black and gray for the wing is one part. It's not separate parts. It's the same. It's using the same system where the color is all molded together.
Yeah, and that red frame runner, man, I haven't seen that. I just want to get one of those and put it in a frame, like a shadow box, and put it on the wall. That's so cool.
Yeah, this is one of the other technologies that Bandai has a patent on, which no one else is going to be able to do. And it's really cemented sort of their position within their industry as being a company that's making product that's accessible to everyone. And this is where we sort of got into last week, right from the get-go, which was the grade system. And this was mainly just Bandai's way to market out their products to set a name standard for them apart from the other model manufacturers. So essentially the high grade line was introduced in 1990 with initially 4 SKUs. This is the old high grade RX-78, the Gundam Mark II, the Zeta Gundam, and Double Zeta Gundam. The high grade line for those 4 SKUs, it was sort of an introductory line to basically make more contemporary versions of the older designs from the late 70s and 80s into a more modern aesthetic. But the significance of that high grade line, those 4 SKUs in the 1990s, was Hajime Katoki designed mechanical drawings inside, and his involvement with Bandai would keep getting more and more close after that line started. Because what essentially happened afterwards is the master grade line and the HGUC line that started in the mid-90s, those were all of Hajime Katoki's line art, essentially. They based it off his interpretations of those designs from the late 70s and 80s. So that's why if you look at the most of the HGUC line, especially from the early to mid 2000s, you'll see that the reference art was done by Hajime Katoki for almost all of them. It was basically Katoki's own line for 1144 kits, even though it didn't have that Burka moniker attached to it yet. But basically all of the HGUC line was based off Katoki's interpretations of those designs, because he had that certain art aesthetic for making those designs in plastic form fit a more contemporary, modern interpretation. The master grade line, when it was launched in 1995, was basically an attempt to bring those older designs from Gundam's early years into a more modern light in 1/100 scale. 1/100 scale is kind of an interesting scale in that it's not a common scale. Usually it's 1/144 and then like 1/72. You know, it follows like certain multiples. So 1/100 scale is kind of an in-between scale, but it's sort of established itself as a standardized scale, at least as an expectation for the consumer for a large Bandai premium model kit. You know, the master grade line, this is where we left off last week. It introduced so many new things that hadn't been seen before. This included like basically building up an internal skeleton for your model and then putting the armor around it. Because before model kits, you know, you just slap halves together. So a leg is like the left half, the right half of the calf, you put them together, oh, there's your leg. But this one, you're building up like the ankle on the inside, you're building up the knee joint and the structure. And that wasn't something that had been seen before and even for like other types of models out there. Like even now, like you're not building like basically the internal like fuselage and frame for a model kit airplane nowadays. You're still building just the entire outer shell. You're not building the internal insides, but you are doing that with Gundam models. And these models don't like exist in real life. They're all from the fiction and basically the imagination of the artists who are designing these mecha models. The Perfect Grade line was introduced back in 1997 with the first release being the Perfect Grade Evangelion. It was their very large, high-end model kit line. It hasn't seen that many releases because they're usually saving it as a sort of high-end premium demonstration of like everything Bandai can do. So they'll often introduce like brand new things with these Perfect Grade releases, or they'll only restrict it to certain iconic characters. That's why you've only seen basically like RX-78, the Unicorn Gundam, Strike Freedom, basically characters that have like really huge recognition. And they've been using this line as a premium like showcase for all that Bandai can do. The Real Grade line was introduced in 2010 as a more advanced premium series for 1/144 scale models. It was not intended to ever be a replacement line for either 1/100 or 1/60 scale. It was just a further higher end version for 1/144 models. And as from the previous slide, we showed the advanced MS joint system, which was an integrated joint system that you basically clicked off the runner and was ready to go to move. But the RG line is also focusing on trying to adapt real world technologies to explain the fiction of what's happening in the various Gundam timelines and universes. So as an example, the Double O Riser in the supplemental material that's in the manual, there's basically, it's citing like the sources for space equipment that was used in satellites for why certain shapes on the model are designed that way. On the Real Grade Char Zigok, it's noted that the intakes for where the water would enter into the Zigok to weigh it down in the ocean are based off of submersibles that are on submarine technology that's used today, along with like where the water would enter and where it would exit. And you can see all that in the molded detail that's on the armor. But it's something that you aren't necessarily quite aware of unless you're really looking at the detail that these models have. And I'm always impressed that the RG line, like they're still trying to cling on to trying to find the real world technologies to actually try to put into that fictional Gundam world. I mean, they could just like put in whatever detail and call it a day, right? But they're actually taking the time to research what is physically like in existence today that could be used to somewhat explain the science fiction fantasy of Gundam, which is very impressive.
I need to translate those manuals more often. Gosh.
Yeah.
It also helps if you can sort of understand the Japanese, but
yeah.
there's not a lot of fans or websites that are like sort of actively trying to translate the manuals. But actually, speaking of translating manuals, those are coming back now. The English translated packaging and also the manuals, starting with the Dragon Ball Figurized standard kits. The entire package is localized in English. So all the Japanese captions, all the fictional history and biography of the mech or characters, those are all going to be translated again. They're also including that little like white paper insert that explains to you, how do you cut a model? What is a decal? What is a water slide? How do I apply this sticker? They're doing all that again. And those, I think, comes in actually like 5 different languages. I think there's also like Spanish, French, I think maybe Korean and Chinese on that paper insert, which explains how to do the basics of model kit building. So those are coming back again.
They're not going to do the level system again, are they?
That was a U.S. only thing. Actually, the level system. My current boss used to work at Bandai America. He was the one that came up with that level system for marketing it in the U.S. So he's with us right now, and I report under him. But I found that out. I was giving him so much shit about it when I found that out about it. He's like, yeah, he was actually like, yeah, I know. But he understood why he explained why he had to do it though, which was he was trying to basically copy on the success of what the American model kit manufacturers were doing and how they were marketing and promoting their model kit lines to younger audiences. Because my boss knew at the time that who's going to be interested in this? Not those old farts who are already building airplanes. It's got to be the younger crowd. So his marketing campaign was done in such a way to basically appeal to those younger builders, and so that they would be more interested and sort of have a have a incentive to try to get those higher level model kit levels, which were basically like level 9 with like perfect grade or something, right? But I asked him, like, how did they determine like what was a grade? Because the skill level, because sometimes they seemed arbitrarily random, even if it was like a model kit within the same series. He said, yeah, we just kind of whatever did. Oh, okay, okay.
That's funny, man.
So next thing I want to talk about is modular runners. So on a lot of model kits from Bandai, especially in recent years, you'll notice that there's these little indentations on a runner that looks like it has like a line on it. These are switches. And what these do is they allow certain sections of a runner to be made. And what you can do is have basically half a runner made from one runner or a whole runner made. But I can show you that what I'm talking about. This is the runner from a master grade master grade God Gundam. You can see I circled in blue where the switches are on the kit. And what those switches do is it allows Bandai to either make this entire runner or just this section of the runner. And the master grade God Gundam uses this entire runner, but on the master grade Shining Gundam, it's this runner, which is the exact same runner with a section cut out.
Oh, wow.
And so by doing this, Bandai is able to save a lot of plastic in terms of manufacturing kits that share similar parts, because they can switch on and off what sections of a runner they can use. And for a lot of people that have been building these kits for a while, they've usually interpreted this as, oh, I can figure out what variations are going to be made from the same kit. I can figure out which model runners are going to be reused for a future variant, which has more or less proved true for a lot of their releases. So a lot of kits that share basically like the same frame or whatnot, you can check to see the runners for the kit. Are there any runner switches on it? Oh, yeah, there they are. That means this is going to be some sort of variant in the future. Or you can figure out, oh, wait, let's see if there was a kit from the past that's using this runner that's current. And so Bandai is able to do a lot of things with runner switches. And they're also able to do a lot of things with different gate types. So the undergate is a type of gate. So let me do some terminology explanation here. So you guys know what a sprue is, right?
Yes.
So in Japan, they call it a gate. And this is the little bit of plastic that goes into where it connects the main runner to the part. It's that little tiny bit. So Bandai has made a number of different gates on their runners in order to do a lot of different things. So undergates, which are the gate that is different, that most people come to know about when they make Gundam model kits, is where the gate is on the underside of the model. And what this does is it reduces the cut mark, so you can't see where you cut the part out. This is usually used on electroplated or mechi-plated kits, like the Hyakushiki or the Akatsuki, all those gold chrome-plated kits with the special finish. If they're designed from the ground up, they usually have undergated parts. And what this does is it reduces the visibility of where you cut the part, preserving that gold finish. A lot of I believe this is also one of those patent Bandai technologies. I haven't really seen it utilized on other model kit manufacturers who make like really like chrome plastic kits.
Kodo has undergates.
Cool. And then the next one is the Kusabi gate. And this is a gate that narrows once it reaches the part. And it reduces the size of the cut mark and also the stress mark. It's also called a wedge gate. I have illustrations and diagrams on the following slide that shows this. The next one is called the Kyabi gate or a Poulos gate. And this is basically twisty parts. You can twist the runner off the part, and you can see these on like SD kits. So here's this
question about the undergate. I'm curious, is like, why are they not on every kit? But my guess is that it takes more time or to design the runner to use an undergate, and it might be more costly. Do you know about that at all?
Yes, it uses more plastic.
Ah, of course it does.
Right, yeah.
So you can see in this picture actually where I have the so what the gates look like. So you have what a normal gate is. It's basically just a thin strip of plastic that goes right to the part, and this is where the hot injection plastic material shoots into the mold runner. But Bandai has done a lot of different types of gate designs over the years. So the Kyabi gate, which is the Poulos gate, on SD kits you can like twist the parts off. But you can also see these used on some things like the RG kits. The pipes that make up the Zaku for cooling, those are all twisties on the RG kit. So you don't need tools to pop them out. You just kind of like twist it off and it comes right off and there's like barely any nub mark. Now on the undergate, you can see the gate, it goes right over and then it goes under in order to mold the part from underneath. You see how much extra plastic that takes to reach underneath it?
Yeah, and the only way to not do that would be have the parts raised above the runner frame, which just wouldn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
It just cause damage to the frame of the parts.
Yeah.
And so
Hey, Xavier, I got a question.
Yes.
The Kusabi gate, was that more intended towards thinking about kits that were geared more towards a younger crowd? And I ask because when I built an LBX kit, which is basically it was a kit more geared towards, I think, a younger audience, just because it's based off an anime that's more like Pokemon or Digimon type of thing, but with mechs, right? I've noticed that kit, I didn't need any, like basically everything just snapped off, and the gate was like the Kusabi gate was just like a single point, very thin, no nipper required, and it was actually surprisingly clean snap. You barely see any nub when you remove the part. So
It's
I was
part of
thinking, was that more towards like we want kids to snap these together, but we don't want them using any knives, hobby knives or nippers. So I was wondering if that was more thinking along the lines of for younger, maybe younger get into model making Bandai kits, but they don't want them to be using nippers and stuff.
So the Kusabi or wedge gate it's basically just a gate that has a smaller type of nub. I don't necessarily know if that was their intention, but I do know it's used all over the place now. This particular picture was taken from the P Bandai Blast Impulse, but I know that that type of gate, which was introduced on the RG ARC 78, it's like one of the premier technologies that the Real Grade line was bringing in. It's used everywhere. It's on high grades. It's on master grades. So I don't necessarily know.
Xavier,
Yep.
I think Jim misspoke. I think he was talking about the Kyabi gate.
Oh yeah. The Kyabi gate for the toolless one. That was definitely intended for originally when it was shown on SD, used on SD kits for a younger crowd, so they didn't have to use any sharp tools. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, the Kyabi gate. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Next, man.
But yeah, so these are the different types of gates that Bandai uses. The undergate, like it's the one most people think about when they hear the word gate. But really, all of the like the sprue or the thing that connects parts to the larger part tree, that is called a gate. And these are all the different types of gates that Bandai utilizes on the runners to accomplish different things. But yeah, for undergating, it's not used a lot because, for one thing, you have to design the parts in such a way that it can be injection molded from the bottom. A lot of designs now, at least for Bandai, like they've been able to do things like mold an entire part, not just the half of it. So there is no longer an underside. You can see this with like the Hyakushiki wing on the Master Grade 2.0. Like there's no longer like an underside to that wing anymore if it's one whole wing, right?
Yeah.
But for a lot of kits where you can do this, which is usually the chrome finish, the electroplating process is expensive. And so a lot of times the premium pricing for these kits, they're sort of like buried and hidden inside that cost. So it's also why for some kits like the Master Grade Astray kits, those are all undergated, if no one's looked at those yet. But they're a little more expensive than other kits that were released at the time that were basically the same parts count. Like the red frame, for example, it's like 5,000 yen, when really that should have been like a 4,200 yen kit or something like that. But also they do this when they know that there might be variations that are going to be made that are going to need that chrome electroplating. And so they'll slightly plan ahead for that, assuming that that idea exists when the project is starting. One other thing about modular runners was that in recent years, a lot of people have noticed that the runners are starting to look really weird. This is from the land type Gundam prototype. I took this picture from dalong.net. So on the left side, you'll see it's like a normal shaped runner, and you can see the runner switch on the right side where there was like another section of that runner that's going to be made. So I'm sure you can guess like, oh, there's probably gonna be variants that are using parts of this runner. But on the other two runners there, the D, actually I'm not sure that's D now, but the C runner and that clear runner, you see how there's like literally like one or two pieces on them? Those are really weird shaped runners, right? And what I discovered was that as I did some more research into this, I asked some more questions because I can actually talk to Bandai on a daily basis. But instead of like a normal rectangular runner that has only a few sections that you can turn on and off, what Bandai has started doing is they've started making runners where you can put in completely different sections and switch them out. So it's no longer a case of the mold only has an on or off switch to turn on and off a section, but you can take out an entire section and put in a completely different section in that same spot.
Yeah. So that's like having pepperoni pizza. You take out a slice of pepperoni and put in some Hawaiian where that slice was.
Yes. Yes.
That's insane. Wow.
That's a good analogy.
So great analogy.
Maybe for that analogy, I'll sell it to you.
So which means that they're making molds now that are extremely large to have room for all these little different, tiny, small, irregular runners that have themselves their own variant runners within them. So like this this C runner is part of another C runner, which also has sections for different C runner configurations. Which means this Gundam, this land type Gundam, which a lot of people were questioning, why the hell is this thing 2,200 yen? It's because it's bearing all the cost of all the variants that are going to be released from it.
Oh,
Zach,
wow.
you finally have your answer.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a, like, that was really racking my brain for the longest time. And that was the only thing that I could come up with is that, yeah, it's just because of the development they're going to use it for future Bandai releases.
I think almost like, I can't remember if you covered it, Zach, but I think it's like almost every runner on this kit is weird. Like it all has like, they're all like either incomplete or oddly shaped, right?
Yeah. It's really weird because just that Gundam by itself already seems like it, like that's already like a MSV kind of thing. Like, so to make like variants, or like to be planning to make multiple variants of an MSV already seems like kind of weird, but yeah, that's
there's so many variants that because of the MSD development project that come from this particular Gundam. It's kind of mind blowing. Like the prototype Gundam comes from this also. The land type, the Aqua Gundam comes from this. There's like all these like random old MSV Gundam designs that no one really remembers unless you were born in 1970 and were around to like read the MSV chronicles as they came out, knows about. That it's kind of mind-boggling that they would even go this far for the development. Another thing,
make that gold one.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of looking forward to if they're going to release that as well. Another thing that Bandai has done is they've changed the plastic composition for their runners over the years. Before, they used to use ABS plastic for their frames, which was a really hard plastic, but it was very unfriendly to lacquer paints and paints that are, they use an organic solvent for suspension. And unfortunately, Bandai partners with GSI Krios, who makes Mr. Hobby paints. Those are the paint reference colors that are used in the Gundam model instruction booklets. So it kind of sucks when your partner paint eats through your plastic. So in 2000, when did the new Verka come out again? Was that 2011, you guys? I think that's 2011.
Sounds about right.
They introduced a new type of, some of you might remember this, but one of the big highlights of that release was Bandai introduced a new polystyrene frame. It was a very flexible, very pliable polystyrene that was much different from previous polystyrene runners. You could flex it. It felt like a polycap, like a hard polycap to a lot of people, and that's exactly what it was. They had designed a new polystyrene formula that would take over the structural stiffness that was required previously that they were using ABS from, but was lighter and was more paint friendly to the lacquer and organic solvent type paints out there. And that's what that new Verka plastic was introduced with, and which they have started using ever since. That's what the Sinanju OVA color version uses. That was one of its big advertising points too, which was it no longer uses an ABS frame. It now uses the new flexible polystyrene frame that's paint friendly, which a lot of people were just like, oh, but it makes the thing not heavy and not like old stuff better, which is partially true because the Sinanju has like a lot of like heavy weapons for its arm type accessories. The beam rifle and also the Sinanju bazooka are pretty damn heavy. And I know from personal experience that the polystyrene frame isn't the best at holding heavy objects, but it is more paint friendly, and that's what Bandai was aiming for when they introduced that.
I do on my kit. I'll trim some inner frame and cut some extra holes, and I find this is a bit weirder to sand because it's softer. So when I'm sanding it, it doesn't react the way that it used to. But if I'm actually cutting with my hobby knife, it cuts like cheese. It's so nice to slice edges off and trim and cut holes in. Yeah.
Right. It's like a stiffer polycap. That's basically what that frame is. Another thing that's something that's not so well known for, but it's sort of very important, is the Bandai Hobby Center did a renovation in the 2000s. They moved everything into a very self-sufficient, highly integrated manufacturing plant. So 90% of the materials at this new Bandai Hobby factory are recycled. All the rainwater is collected and reused. All the water within is recycled and resequenced and repurposed. All like the extra plastic that's like cut off, it's all remelted back down. So it's a very like eco-friendly place. But what I wanted to bring attention to was that the mold masters that would be used to create the molds, they used to be carved out of wood.
Wait, what?
What?
I mean, really, wood?
So
Yeah.
Josh, you saw that at Gundam Front Tokyo.
one from Tokyo, and I saw the wooden RX-782, and I'm
Yeah.
like, is it a toy or what? And I'm like, surely this is not an original for making a mold.
Right.
I thought they'd be made out of something like wax or, some other sculptable material, but wood. That's
Wow.
right.
I'm sorry, but that blows my mind.
Yeah, I wanted to bring attention to this because this is very important. Because in the mid 2000s, Bandai switched from using carved wood blocks as their mold negatives to copper that was used by the machining center that's inside the new Shizuoka factory. So before, like the mold negative, you can see in the top there, they like carve it out of wood, and then they would like press it against the metal to make the mold.
Wow.
So the mold negatives, they used to be carved out of wood.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Which means there was a lot of really skilled wood people at Bandai in like the 90s, etc.
I want to see videos of them making this thing. I don't care if it's a 30-hour video, one like RX-7. I want to see this.
You can actually kind of see this transition if you're looking at certain model kits that were made in the 2000s. The Seed and Seed Destiny kits were the last kits that were had their molds constructed from wood mold negatives.
Wow.
The ones after that started using the new copper process. So a lot of the kits that were part of that huge master grade boom in the mid 2000s we were talking about, that was mainly made possible through the fact that, hey, we don't have to like carve everything out of wood first to make the mold. We can use like this like huge like new like laser thing that we just invested millions of dollars in. That laser that cuts the machine metal molds now, it can cut as precisely as 40 micrometers. It's
Wow.
really precise. But yeah, an important part of Bandai's thing is they're not using wood anymore.
There's a picture. Yeah.
I found the image of the wood Gundam here on my screen. I don't know if you can see it or not, but yeah.
Wow.
You guys can see that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's why there's
so
that's why
crazy.
you see pictures of like wood things for like the history of like making molds and stuff. You're like, why is there a wood Gundam there? Because the metal thing was made from that wood thing.
Wow.
Xavier, one question just about the recycling of materials. One thing I've wondered about quite a lot is if Bandai has ever tried to do some like initiative of getting people to like send their used runners back in to be recycled directly to Bandai or something like that. Have they ever tried to do something like that? I'm sure.
You've never heard of Ecopla?
That's what that is kind of what that was.
I hear that those kits are terrible, but
So the EcoPla is part of like the environmentally, like it was part of some like campaign during that year when it was launched. But EcoPla is basically all the unused runners and leftover plastic scraps. They're just melted down together, and they don't add any color dyes to the plastic. So when all those different color plastics are melted down together, they become like a black color. And that's basically what EcoPla is. It's melted down spare plastic and runners without any dye treatments added to them. A lot of people have commented that the EcoPla, well, it was kind of neat. Like there was no actual like eco like sort of benefit to them, because they were, for one thing, Bandai was still charging like the same price and sometimes higher for them because it became a sort of like a premium thing.
I also heard they were a little.
They were a little what? Are you still there?
Sorry.
I heard they were more fragile. Sorry, I forgot my background.
Oh yeah, because the plastic is untreated. Yeah, they're not so stable as like the traditional like plastic pellets that Bandai uses. It's like the idea behind the EcoPla is you're just reusing the leftovers and stuff that you throw out normally. So it's not treated at all. There's no dyes. There's no like there's no age. There's some of the agents that are applied to the plastic. They aren't applied there at all. since the idea was like you're just, you know, using what you were going to toss in the trash. I think that was it for me.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, there was some other stuff I wanted to cover, but I thought no, some of those topics are more relevant to another topic at hand. I also wanted to, because I mean, from the rest of you guys, there are other experiences of like certain kits that you probably would want to discuss that were influential to Gunpla as well. For me, a personal one was the action frame from the Master Grade G Gundam line. That was truly one of the first like skeletal structures where Bandai was really throwing an emphasis on, let's make these mobile suits like be able to recreate poses that are as human as possible. These G Gundam kits, they were throwing off kung fu poses that these weren't able to be realized or done before these frames were introduced. That was really eye-opening to me when I first saw them. It's like, whoa, this Master Gundam could do this like Hong Kong, like old like China master like pose. This is amazing.
Yeah, I remember getting the Master Grade God Gundam back in the early 2000s. And man, I mean, people would make stupid, crazy poses for it. Like I remember when I got it, I made it stand on one hand, like inverted, like a one-handed handstand. And it was just so cool. And yeah, I mean, that inner frame was just so different and ahead of what everything else was doing. It was crazy. Crickets. Awesome.
the worst part of those kits are your rubber hands. But I love those kits. They're so nice.
Yeah, the rubber hands sucked, but other than that, it was pretty cool.
My first Master Grade was the red frame Astray. And so I didn't know about undergates, so I totally missed the benefit of having old undergates on that one, Xavier. Darn it. But the posability on that, I was just blown away. So that was probably my my like first skeletal inner frame. And being able to bend those ankles and the arms and the torsos and the legs, the posing with that red frame was just so much fun. So yeah, I had a good time with that one.
It's the mechanics of it as well when you first see a Master Grade. Yeah, the little moving inner frame parts.
Yeah.
It's just when you experience that for the first time, it's so cool.
Yeah, it kind of plays up to the fact that we know it's not real, but in the back of our mind, it's like it's in an alternate existence. These robots are real. Yeah. Getting to put it together, it's like, it's so much fun. It's just like your mind is playing with this scaled down version. Yeah.
That's it.
So, I mean, I guess, you know, we've talked about a lot of what's happened in the past and what's kind of brought us up to this point. But, you know, we haven't really talked about what we could foreseeably, you know, expect in the future. I mean, I guess, Xavier, I mean, do you have any kind of, I guess, forethought or any inclination or maybe even hints about what Bandai has up their sleeves next?
Yeah, so actually at a few different Gunpla Expo events over the past few years, Bandai showed a lot of different kind of technological stuff that they're working on. I think in the recent few years, I've seen like more like robotics type of movable parts being shown off as experimental concepts. I remember, I believe it was last year, there was like an RX-78 frame that was like walking on a treadmill. I don't know if anyone remembers this.
I remember that. It was side on, yeah.
Yeah. There was one like that, and then there was also a Gunpla Build Fighters like I don't know if it was augmented reality or some other technology where people were actually literally fighting with Gunpla, like their little Gunpla models. So there's some more things that they're probably going to try, because I think there's only there's a lot of refinements that can be done to the manufacturing process for Gunpla, but in terms of like actual things that we see as the end consumer when we're building and assembling it, I think we might see more sort of like gimmick type stuff. I think I think we'll probably see some motorized stuff in the future. Maybe like sort of RC integration for like the higher end premium kits, like the Perfect Grade series. They did kind of attempt that with the Perfect Grade Double Eraser. If anyone owns that kit, they know it has motorized GN drives that light up and spin. But they might try to do some more stuff like that in the future. But I think right now they're trying to focus on basically trying to make some designs that are a little more appealing to the current audience. That's why they're doing 2.0s now, like the Freedom. They did a new Ale Strike with the version RM. Because I think that audience is now getting to the point where they're going to be able to appreciate like a second version of that character design. Or in some cases, if they need like an antagonist for that design, maybe that'll be more appropriate with a more modern aesthetic.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I see, just kind of touching on that kind of motorized gimmick and everything, you see some of those things in like aftermarket parts and stuff like that. Like the Kotobukiya MSG line has like they have a Gatling gun and it's motorized and everything. And the ammo mechanism. Yeah, the ammo box is like where the batteries are, and it's and those little gimmicks there. So that would be kind of interesting, especially to tie it into like the what reactors or whatever. Yeah, GN drives. You can tell I'm a fan of 00.
I thought you were a fan of IBO, Tim.
Especially
especially the Barbatos, right? It's your favorite, right?
Yeah, it really is. You know what? Though I've got to admit, I have relaxed my position just a teeny bit because some of those designs that are coming out for IBO are getting kind of cool. I have to admit. So like all the grays variations and things like that. I kind of dig and what people obviously can do with them. Those are really, really cool as well. So I don't mind it too much. And the new Barbatos, the one with the red shoulders, I kind of dig it because it's bulkier and it's got a little bit more heft to it. And yeah, I don't mind that as much. I think if they were to bring that out first, I probably might have even been a fan. So
yeah, I agree. I like Lupus, I think it is.
Yeah, Lupus. Lupus.
Yeah.
Tim, I'm still telling you, you need to get the 1/100 Grays custom. You'll really like that kit, I'm sure.
Dude, honestly, I have the Grays custom and the Grimgird on my Amazon watch list right now, and I keep checking them for like the price fluctuations and everything. But I got to get the Ifrit first, so that's probably going to be my next purchase. But dude, I've got so many damn models that I'm probably never going to build, so it's like almost worthless to even purchase anything at this point. So c'est la vie. But
this 1/100 IBO kits are pretty amazing now. They're on par with, I think, maybe the first like 50 or so master grades.
Yeah.
Just like the internal skeleton on both the Gundam units and also the enemy units. The Greys, the Grimgird's Valkyria frame. There's a complete internal skeleton on those kits, which is something that you were only seeing on master grades in like the 2000s before. But now they're on just normal 1/100 kits that are like $35 max. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the internal frame for that total cost still was amazing.
Yeah, I have to give it to Bandai. The engineering on, especially the joints on the Barbatos, really, honestly, kind of ingenious in terms of design and things, and how they kind of pulled it off to make the joints seamless and kind of hide those polycaps. I was actually really, really surprised with how they pulled it off. So kudos to them. But yeah, I mean, I got to agree. Like up until like the 2005, 2007 era, man, the IBO kits, are definitely either on par or superior to a lot of those master grade kits. And mind you, a lot of those old master grade kits are amazing kits. But yeah, I mean, that kind of shows you how far that technology has come and how much they can do with it and kind of bring it into line and standardize things. It's really cool.
Just like on my YouTube channel and stuff, I see a lot of people saying that they want like a master grade Barbatos or a master grade Grimgard or something like that. It's like the 1/100 scale kit is pretty much like a master grade already. Like I really don't. I mean, of course, if they made a full-on master grade, they could make the frame like even better, and they could do more part separation and stuff like that. Of course, but the 1/100 scale kits are already pretty dang good.
Yeah.
That's something I find is I love master grade building up the internal skeleton. So whenever a new master grade comes out and the skeleton, like say the Origin RX-782, it's a little bit more basic and not say full. I'm disappointed, but it's showing me that I'm getting my enjoyment in different ways from the Bandai kits, like the 1/100 Iron-Blooded Orphans. Yeah, it's not as intricate, but you're still getting the fun, and it kind of comes in a different form, if that makes sense, for your $1. Yeah.
Yeah, the simplification in the MG frames has come about mostly because at some point people started realizing, you know, I cover up all of the internal skeleton with the armor, so it's not like I see any of this internal detail anyway. And so that's why for a lot of master grade kits, they've started shifting away focus from trying to do a lot of like different internal like detail gimmicks to like trying to make the outside appearance when the model is completed as detailed as possible. Mm-hmm. That's why with designs like the Freedom 2.0 or the Origin RX-78, there's a lot of gimmicks that are outside the frame. Like there's barely any detail on the internal frames for those two models, but there's a ton of detail, both functional detail like moving parts or effects, and also surface detail, which is like either like panel lines or different molds and shapes on the outer armor that have contributed to the detail that the master grade line has come to represent. But like Joshua was saying, it's a little different from what it was before, and that the enjoyment factor is deriving from something that's similar but not quite the same. And in that, I respect the IBO 1/100 kits. They're a little more like the earlier master grades in that you can see that internal detail. Bandai has made a lot of effort to put a lot of surface detail in those IBO 1/100 frames, and it shows in like all the kits that you see being shown on the web by people who have gotten them. The fact that the armor is already semi-exposed as part of the natural design really allows those internal skeletons to shine through.
And like the RE line, that's a testament to no full inner frame on most of them, but the outer details on the armor, you're getting enjoyment from a different kind of part of the model kit. Like the Baowu coming out just looks fantastic with all that detail.
Right. And I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy the Rebao P Bandai item when that comes out too.
Yeah.
Nice.
I might actually buy that if it does come out.
Oh, I'll
probably get it too.
Yeah. I like the Rebao, man. It's a cool design, man. But you know, another cool design that I'm looking at is the GM Sniper 2 that was just announced, and we're talking about detail on inner frames and stuff like that. And I'm looking at the pictures of this thing, and you know, I'm looking at the really, really tiny details that, you know, probably most people aren't ever going to look at. Like there's detail on the inside of the shoulders, like where the joint is, like actually on the underside of the armor, and especially like on the inside of the knee. I mean, there's detail there. It's all detailed out. It's all solid plastic. There's no more holes in it, like you know, the old models are. And man, this thing is just mind-blowing when you really sit and really kind of contemplate it and look at it and really study it. It's really, really cool. And I honestly can't wait for this thing to come out.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's great.
Totally.
Yeah, I want to build a squad.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Now, question: Do we happen to know, Xavier? Is this fully brand new molds, or do you have any clue on that?
I have to confirm still. I think it might be that I asked permission for them to bring it to New York Comic Con. I think they probably only have those 3 that they were showing off at the hobby show this weekend. So I don't know if they'll happen. But I'm getting clarification on that. But I do believe it's a brand new, everything's brand new on it. It's not using anything existing from what I understand. But I'm still waiting for clarification on it.
If you can bring this thing to New York Comic Con, I would scream like a little girl.
I want to see
I'm
it.
trying. I'm trying.
I would love to see this at Comic Con, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm trying.
That would be amazing.
If that was not a totally new frame, I mean, what?
Like what would be sharing with it, right?
What's
I
that?
don't. If it's not a new frame, it's basically like, what would it be sharing with? I can't really see anything that it would be sharing with, based on what we've seen so far of what's exposed, like in the knee joints, the arm joints. Like, there's nothing that's even close to that.
Yeah.
That's just going to be so much fun to open the box and just look at the runners, all new runners. Oh man, that's fun.
And now you're going to go look and see, oh, where are the runner switches? Oh, there we go, there we go. It's like, oh, look, I can tell this armor section right here is where they'll make the white dingo shield, etc.
Of course.
Hey man, if they make a white dingo version, I'm definitely gonna buy that. I've got a special place in my heart for the dingoes, man. It's awesome. But yeah, this thing is just crazy looking. I mean, just the double hinge knee, to achieve that kneeling down position and everything, and the articulation in the shoulders alone is just insane. It's just really, really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just going back to just like speaking about the future developments, like Tim was saying, it seems like we're at like a point now where it seems like, how can they possibly improve, or like what possible things can they really do to make the kits like that much better than they are now? But like, I'm sure people thought the exact same thing like 10, 20, 30 years ago. Like, oh, how could they make it any better? Then like just managed to come up with something, I guess. Personally, motorized stuff doesn't really sound all that appealing to me, but I'm sure they'll come up with something interesting to do.
Have you seen the
You're right.
Go ahead, Xavier.
I was gonna say, have you seen the X-wing, the 1/48 scale Bandai has made from Star Wars? That has motorized functions also.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The S foils, they can open and close by themselves.
Ah, yeah.
So there might be that type of stuff in the future. I'm trying to think of a gimmicky Gundam that something like that would work well with.
Like the Kshatriya or something. Maybe the wing blinders would lift up or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Or there's
you know what would be really cool if something that did that? That would look awesome on those forearm Gatlings on a master grade Alex 2.0. That would be amazing.
yeah. That'd be cool if the pop-ups could be like
yeah. We can dream, man. We can dream.
We'll be able to replicate hamburgers being made.
Nice.
But actually, that does bring up a point, which is that they were showing off the Camphor and the Alex next to the GM Sniper 2.
Yeah.
Those two look so out of place with that GM Sniper 2 now. The molds are, the design aesthetic of those is so bad now compared to it.
Yeah.
They look just big HGs.
Yeah, and people were obviously when the thing was announced, it blew up on Facebook groups and stuff, and everybody was plastering it all over the place. And a lot of people asked, "Oh my God, what are those? Is that the Master Grade Alex and Camphor 2.0?" And I'm like, "No, calm down. That's the originals, unfortunately." But yeah, man, the Alex, so
He's
disappointing.
Old.
Oh, dude, yeah. And mind you, I'm not one to say that, hey, this needs a 2.0 and that needs a 2.0. Honestly, quite the contrary. I'm almost like, no, that doesn't need a 2.0. But the Alex, yeah. Yeah, that
Those-
needs a 2.0 bad,
Totally agree.
real bad.
Yeah, both the Alex and Camphor, they're right up there for needing to be like version 2.0 or version COD at this point. They're
Mm.
Yeah,
they're pretty iconic, but all their models now are pretty damn old. And the
Oh,
design
yeah.
aesthetic is no longer matching our current era. It is unfortunate.
I think maybe I'm the only one who just really likes the original MG Camphor. I like that kit a lot.
I like it. Yep. I built it a year ago.
I have one. I like it too.
yeah.
I like it too, but
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm saying I like it too. It's just it doesn't match the GM Sniper 2 now. Like
Yeah,
that's for sure.
the
Yeah, of
detail
course,
aesthetic is completely off.
I just remember when the Alex came out in the early 2000s, and mind you, this was back on the old, Chata Mecha forums. We were all like, "Oh my God, did you get it? Did you get it?" And then when people started buying it and opening it up, they were like, "What the hell is this? This is not what we expected at all." I mean, just it was bad even when it came out. It was so disappointing, unfortunately. It was just like one of those really hard misses by Bandai. And they don't miss a lot, but man, this was a hard miss.
Remember this?
That was bad.
It's the rubber sleeves on the Alex.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I'm
I
still
remember
building one of
those.
these.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You've been building it ever since it was released. That's how much you're not enjoying it.
Yeah, right?
Actually, the only thing I built on that was the shield, and I actually got that shield signed by Izubuchi, who was the mecha designer for it.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Actually, let me see if I still have it here. I got it signed in Anime Expo 2006. Actually, I think Clement, who's Gamera Benrei, he got his Sazabi signed by him that year too. Oh yeah, here it is.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's cool.
That is a pretty cool keepsake right there, man.
Yeah. He addressed it to my name. I was like such a giddy little like schoolboy at the time. Like, oh my god, he's signing my shield. Yeah.
Xavier went total fanboy. I would pay to see that, dude. I would pay to see that.
It's like I was so concerned. I remember at the time because it was like, oh man, like all these other people around me, like Clement, like they brought their like Izubuchi kits. So there was like Camphors, Sazabis, new Gundams everywhere. It's like I don't have anything completed. All I have is a shield.
You're making him wait while you build it. You're like, hang on. I'm just going to build something so you can sign it.
Nice.
Jeez.
That's awesome. Well, hey, you know what? We haven't heard anything about the topic from Jimmy and Justin. Man, guys, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on how Bandai is currently and in the past? What are your thoughts on this topic?
Sorry, I'm trying to not make a whole bunch of noise with the TV and stuff in the back.
Oh,
But,
good, man.
Like I don't know. I'm kind of have my ups and downs with Bandai. I like their models. I like that they're easy to put together. I mean, I'm playing with one right now, but sometimes I feel like as far as like equipment goes, as far as like sometimes surface details, like I just bought the RG Sinanju, and like Xavier was saying, that like the RG line was kind of created to do like the real world interpretations of those mobile suits, and in a lot of ways I feel like that kit is a really good example of what the RG line is all about, but I also feel like it's lacking in a lot of areas. Like there's no panel lines on that kit whatsoever. I feel like a lot of emphasis was put on, let's make this kit really shiny. It just looks like a shiny Hydra when you're done with it.
I was really surprised by that too, because I had the RG expectation, like 782 or the Mark II, super panel lines, but not much on the Sinanju.
Yeah, I was really kind of let down by that, because I'm a huge fan of like seeing all those crazy lines all over the place and putting decals around everything. I think it looks really cool when you get to that point, but it's like when you're done with it, it doesn't really have the RG look that all the other RG kits have. It's just like the RG build, and like it's sturdy. It's a solid kit. I don't care what anybody else says. Like I've really enjoyed what I've built of it so far. It's awesome.
Look how floppy it is! Look how floppy it is! Look how floppy it is!
I hate that guy.
Especially when I shake it very vigorously.
I've never been into his reviews anyway, but it's like, this is the same guy who's like, go out and buy the high-res Barbados. And I'm like, nobody's going to spend $150 on a kit like that. Like, I don't understand that line either. But I don't know. I just wish I knew what they were going for. Like sometimes it's like, okay, I see where you're going, Bandai. I see where you're going, and then they turn around and they do something completely different. And you're just like, what?
Yeah.
You had a good thing going, guys.
So on
Yeah, I mean,
the
like I said, they don't miss too often, but sometimes it's just a hard miss.
actually
So-
for the RG Sinanju, in terms of the real world aesthetics that they're trying to apply to it, the boosters that are all over its body from its backpack and to the underside of the legs, what they were trying to do was achieve the same sort of structural makeup that's found in the space shuttle launches. How the pipes that would lead to the propulsion of the shuttle into space, they were trying to follow that same type of framework. And so if you look carefully at the leg gimmick, you can see that most clearly in the silver molded parts. But I agree with you that it doesn't feel like there's too much there. There's not a whole lot of other surface detail besides like those gimmicks. And I think what they could have done and probably should have done was expose more of the internal structure through the armor, whether those were like smaller gaps or other types of things that showed off the extensions they did to the advanced MS frame to make it fit the Sinanju size. Because that RG is a little unique in that they repurposed another frame to make it taller.
I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
They
I think
they could not have known when they did the Mark II that they were going to do the Sinanju, right?
no, they did not.
Okay. So how intelligent their engineering is and how ingenious that is. I can't believe they did that.
It's quite impressive.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioned the God Gundam, the Master Grade God Gundam. It's funny that you mentioned that one because that was actually, I think it was either my first or second kit I've ever built and actually fully painted. And I do remember those rubbery hands. Fortunately, that kit also comes with a pair that are actually plastic and you can actually paint it. But I do remember trying to like sand those hands and painting those things are pretty much impossible just because it will just chip off. Which I just remembered that a couple of weeks ago, somebody from those Gundam guys, I don't remember if it was Angel or
it was
Clem,
Mike.
It was Mike.
Yeah, it was Mike Wine.
He mentioned something called this. I actually have a bottle here.
Bulldog or something?
Oh, he's talking about the adhesive spray thing, so that you could basically paint polycaps with that thing.
Yeah,
that. It's like Bulldog something or other. Yeah. I actually wanted to try
promoter.
That. Yeah. I actually wanted to try that because I have some old '90s wing kits with like the polycap elbow joints. I wanted to see if those would work on them.
So it's like a vinyl paint maybe where it's actually kind of a bit rubbery, the paint itself.
It looks like Jimmy's phone died, so
I was like, whoa, he's frozen in time.
Yeah, right. No, but I remember that too. Do you know if he had success with that? Because I know he showed it on one of the build, those Gunning Guys and Friends episodes, and I was on there, and he was talking about trying it out, and then he posted some pictures. I mean, do we know if he had a good success with that, like with flex and everything like that? Do you know, Xavier?
I know he was able to do it with the polycaps he did have. I don't know if he was able to do it specifically with like the elbow or like leg joints for some of those older models, which was literally just a polycap.
Yeah,
I know he did it for some of the polycaps that you plug ball joints into, and there was no like flex at all, like when he was moving it around. So I know it does. It does work. I was just wondering if it has the durability for like elbow polycaps or like leg polycaps where the joint is literally a polycap.
Yeah, like the old school wing F91 kits that have that exposed polycap in there. That's pretty crazy.
Polycap hands and elbow joints.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to hit Mikey up and see what he did.
I think even the Master Grade Full Armor Double Zeta had polycap arm joints too. Now that I think about it,
The Master Grade Zeta.
The double Zeta. That needs a 2.0.
Double Zeta, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. All righty. Well, we're getting down to time here, guys. So wonderful show. Again, Xavier, thank you so much, man. I mean, it's always so amazing to have you on because you're such an amazing wealth of information to everybody. Even people not watching. I mean, because the information gets to people that do watch, they spread it out, and then people get the right ideas. So, man, thank you. And like I said, man, you have carte blanche. Anytime you want on, man, you come on and we'll have a good conversation, man. So thank you again for being on. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think like after Xavier's presentation there, we were all kind of quiet because like he just like said anything we could possibly really want to say about the subject. He just like,
that's it.
That's all the best bits. It's like nothing really too much more interesting we can say after that.
Yeah, right. It's just like Xavier just mic drop. You know.
Yeah.
All right, so we got one little small bit of business, and Zach, I'm going to hand it over to you to announce your winners.
Looks like we're coming to the end here, so I do want to announce the winners for my contest. Also, before I do that, I forgot to mention this earlier. This T-shirt, this was a design variant I did that was going to be sold like just exclusively at one of the events that I did there in the Philippines, but just because of kind of some mix up with some stuff that happened with that event, I decided not to make it just exclusive for that. I'm just going to put it on my shop just like a normal t-shirt, so just for anyone there in the Philippines, or for have to live in the Philippines. But so this shirt will be on my shop shortly, later today or tomorrow or something. So anyone, if you want a Philippines limited kind of shirt, I'll put that on my shop there for a while. But let's get into the winners here. So hang on just a second. Oh no, where did my window go? Okay, hang on. As I've done with pretty much all my contests, I think how it's going to work is just that the first prize will, first place winner will get first pick of the prizes, and second place second pick, and third place will get the last remaining prize. So that's how the prizes will work. And I'll contact these winners because I'm sure probably they're not all watching, but I'll be contacting them. So the third place prize is going to this one here. Let me present the screen. Here you go.
Oh, nice.
So this one is by Gary Valent from Indonesia. And the title is What My Gunpla Do in His Free Time. So this one, like I said, I had a lot of entries that were not like typical kind of like Gundams in like Gundam poses, but just like more like funny stuff or just like kind of everyday poses or something like that. This one I thought was the best one of those. So I wanted to include one of those kind of photos in here. And this one I liked it as well because it seemed like he definitely put some time into like the drawing and arranging the photo, everything all together. There was definitely some time and some thought put into arranging this photo. So I like this one.
Great drawing in itself. Yeah.
What's that, Josh?
This is a great drawing in itself.
Yeah, just a cool thing there, and little petite guy there on top as well, and just kind of cool. So that is the third place. I guess you guys can already see the winners on the side there. Unfortunately, oops. All right, so we're not going to be too much of a surprise, I guess. But anyway, here's the second place. This one, again, it was just a really cool, dramatic photo. So I don't think he probably did too much in the way of like adding any effects to this. Maybe changed like some of the brightness and contrast maybe of the photo. But essentially, this looks like pretty much he's just used very minimal effects. It's just a really cool photo just by itself. And it as well.
Like it's,
what, Josh?
Yeah. Makes it look like it's in space with that single direct line. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the kit, I mean, as far as I can tell, it's just snapped. It's not like painted or anything. So again, it wasn't really about like the best kit, but just like the best photo. And like I kept going back to this photo. This was in like my top I narrowed it down to like a top 20 or something like that. And I kept going back to this because I kept thinking like there's not really a whole lot going on there, but I just kept going back to it because it's just a really attractive photo, I think. So that's why I ended up picking this one for the second place. And then there was a lot of these actually. What I'll do later today or tomorrow is put up a video on my channel here showing all the entries. So I'll put all the entries into one video so you can see all of them. And there was a lot that were similar to this, just like low light. It's like black photos like this, but this one was the best one of them, I thought. Cool pose there. And then so the grand prize winner was this one. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say. This one was also from Indonesia by Faris Athaya. Yeah, this is the first place winner here. And this should be a good demonstration of my trying to not be biased in these selections, because this high new influx is actually a design that I don't really particularly like that much. But it's just a really good photo. And one thing that I liked about this is because like I couldn't tell what of that is actually effect or what is just actually real there in the photo. Yeah, it sort of looks like effects, but also not. I mean, obviously there's just a black and white filter on it and just some messing with the levels, which is done nicely, I think. But just in terms of like the background and everything, and actually, like when I was collecting all the photos, some people included like some information in their emails about like their process or their idea behind it. I actually didn't read most of those. I was just basing my judging moment in the photos, and then after I selected the winners, I went back and read their emails.
Hold up, are those like leaves and like the ground?
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it was interesting. Like I said, I chose this because I liked how I couldn't tell what the effects were used. Yeah. And when I went back and read his email, here I'll read to you guys what he said in that. He said, most everything in the photo is practical effects. The only editing done was the glow in the eyes and the embers in the smoke and the flames.
Wow.
I saw you replied to someone's question saying you wanted minimal editing, so hopefully that's not too much. He said, I used smoke bombs to create the smoke and actually stained some of the white parts on the Gunpla. So he had some fresh battle damage. Anyway, so yeah, most of the effect that you're seeing is all just practical.
That's cool.
That's some great creativity, man.
Yeah, very cool. So I thought that one was definitely deserving of the first prize. But like I said, there was a lot of really good entries. It was really hard. It's over 400, so a lot to go through. I just very thankful to everyone who joined. And again, you'll be able to see all of those in the video I'll put up a little bit later as soon as I can. But those are the winners. So that's all.
Yeah.
Good job. Hey, congrats to the winners. Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe Bandai, something they should include besides LED units is smoke bombs in the kits.
Smoke bomb effects.
Yeah. That may not go over well in some countries. All right, awesome. Okay, congratulations to Chase. That was an excellent bit of practical effects. The photo editing on that was really well done.
The US, by the way.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, good deal. All right, so let's go around the room. Let's get some plugs in, and then we're gonna wrap this puppy up. So let's start. Let's start with Jimmy. Jimmy, what do you got to plug for us, man?
Hey guys, sorry I dropped off. My phone died. But anyway, you can find me Gunpla Fixation on YouTube. I got video tutorials and work in progress. Last video was uploaded a few days ago, so check it out. New video coming soon as I wrap up this build. Find me on Facebook, Gunpla Fixation, and also on Instagram at Gunpla Fixation.
Awesome. Well, hey, Jimmy, thank you again for being with us, man. Thank you for taking the day on your vacation and spending it with the boys. We appreciate it, brother.
Oh, Justin, we're getting some loud noise, dude.
Yeah, who's got the smacking in the back?
I think that was Justin.
Oh, yeah, it was Justin. Oh, well. Awesome. All right, Josh, go ahead and give us some plugs, man. What do you want to say?
Yeah, Josh Rodera on Instagram and Facebook, and my website where I sell my artwork. And my GWC 2016 is almost finished, so look out for 2017. And for everybody in Australia and Brisbane, I'm actually going to be doing a workshop at one of our local stores, Hobbyrama in Stafford, and that's going to be this coming weekend on the 1st of October. So it's open for beginners or noobs, anybody who wants to get in the hobby. I'm going to be introducing people to it, so come out to that. That's it. Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Justin, go ahead and give us some plugs, brother. Justin.
There we go. I am Justinius, as always. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Those are the big ones. I have Tumblr, Snapchat, Reddit, the whole deal. I got this little baby with me.
Hey,
Wow, look at her.
Wow.
Oh. She's the real star.
I totally agree with you, man.
Okay.
All right, well, that's it. So.
Awesome. Yep. All right, Simon, go ahead and give us some plugs, brother.
Sure. You can catch more or less everything that I do on GundamUK.com, and I'd also like to just for anybody who remembers, the Mecha Lounge is now reopened. If you'd like to re-sign up, that's an international mecha model community where we share whips and ideas and Q&As and that kind of thing. And that's mecha-lounge.com.
Yeah, bringing back the forums. I support that. That's awesome.
It's a bit of an experiment, but yeah, it's taken off quite nicely. So yeah, if you want to come and join, then come and join.
Very cool. Yeah, I tried. I don't know if I messed it up or something. I never got my confirmation email, so I'm gonna have to try it again.
Yeah, well, that's happening quite often. For some reason, it's going into spam folders.
That's not good. I'll check mine and we'll see. But I'll be on there soon enough.
Cool.
All right, Zach, go ahead and give us some plugs, brother.
Yo, well, you're here on my channel, so thank you.
Wait, what? We are?
Oh, what?
Oh, hell. This is the wrong place.
Also have, just again as usual, Instagram is probably the next best place, or Facebook page as well. Follow on there. Just do some other stuff. I think, like Justin said in his recent update video, I like to not have just the same thing on everywhere. So some things I'll just put on Facebook, or other things on Instagram. Stuff that doesn't go on YouTube, things like that. So follow on those places. Again, probably going to be having another contest around the end of the year. And as well as we here, Gunpla Talk, we want to have our contest as well. So we'll be working on that as well. And yeah, hopefully finishing up some of these works in progress this coming week. This past week, after coming back from the Philippines, I've been like feeling quite old in that like I've just been really tired. And after a week of traveling, and then like I needed like a week to recover. So I felt bad in my lack of productivity this past week, but I've just been quite tired. So hopefully in the next week, I'll be able to pull some later nights, finish up some of these whips. I've also got all the new kits for September. I should be getting in next week, so I'll be starting on those reviews for the new Build Fighters kits. Pretty much everything's new from Build Fighters. The Shia Quanta, Bear Guy, Pretty, the Scramble Gundam, and new Kara stamp plate. And like finally also got the HG Zaku 1 Sniper, Yonam Kirk's version, that has been just completely sold out everywhere for quite a long time. It's finally got a rerun, so I finally got that kit. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. All right. Last but definitely not least, our guest, Xavier. Xavier, I'm sure you got some things to plug.
Yeah, so the last regional event for the Gunpla Builders World Cup GBWC for the US is at New York Comic Con. which is coming up in 2 weeks. Looks like October.
October 8th.
Yes, October 6th through 8th.
Yeah.
Last day to bring entries is on that Saturday before 1 p.m. Please bring in your entries by that time. And also, we'll be having lots of new kits on display. I'm trying to get the GM Sniper 2, like their one prototype that they're showing off right now. I'm trying to get them to bring it to the US. We will have the Psycho Zaku Verka on display,
Nice.
upcoming Build Fighters and Iron Blooded Orphans Season 2 kits. We'll also be selling the Gunpla Expo kits there. So things like the new Gundam HWS is going to be there. We'll also be unveiling a lot of different like cool Japanese import figures at the event, like the Soul of Chogokin Megazord. Also in November, the SoCal Gundam Model Competition is happening. That's the sole dedicated giant Gundam model competition in the US, hosted by those Gundam guys. That happens on November 12th. We have Hyakushiki shirts up for sale now on the website for the SoCal Gundam Model Competition. If you like Gundam, build models, you want to be in a Gundam-only competition, well, actually, no, there's other model categories now. If you want to be in the largest Gundam model competition in the US, go join that one. That's very fun. It's located in California. And then, oh, yes, Gundam Iron Blooded Orphan Season 2 is premiering in just a couple of weeks. Go check it out. It should be streaming live on YouTube and for free, just like the previous season.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. So for me, man, childofmecha.com is in the works. The new website is coming soon. I am actively working on that. But in the meantime, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and a little bit of Twitter. I'm on there just a little bit. But other than that, Xavier, man, I will see you in 2 weeks, brother. I just submitted my entry form last night, so FYI. So
That's cool.
yeah, so the Hummingbird will be there this year. Yay! I can't
The
wait.
winning bird.
Well, I'm not gonna say that at this point. I am going to stay optimistic. Let's put it that way. But there's going to be tough competition. What's that?
He has to impress Bandai because they're the other half of the judging.
Exactly. So hopefully, we'll see. But there's definitely going to be some crazy good competition there. So I'm not going to not going to say anything about that other than I'm really excited to compete. That's the main thing. So check us out in 2 weeks at New York Comic-Con. That's going to be awesome. If you want to see me scream like a little girl, if Bandai allows the GM Sniper 2 there, come see it. Maybe we'll record it. But other than that, man, thank you guys. Thank you, the fans, for supporting us. We had a lot of people watching today. As always, you guys make this happen. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And you know what? We'll see you next month. See you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. See ya.
There we
Bye, everyone.